What?
Avenue.
Avenue Road.
Yes.
Can you spell the name for me, please?
Dad.
Ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, I need to know your address. Avenue Road. Can you please spell it?
In Helen Avenue, my dad just went outside screaming.
Ma'am, can you spell the street address for me, please?
H-E-L-E-N. Just so broken, and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
In the quiet suburbs of Toronto, Canada, a seemingly picture-perfect life hid a chilling secret. A tale of deception, desperation, and betrayal would soon unfold, leaving a community in shock and disbelief. In this video, we embark on a journey into the life of Jennifer Pan, a young woman who meticulously crafted an elaborate facade of success and accomplishment while concealing a double life from those closest to her. But as her web of lies unraveled, it would lead to a horrific and unthinkable outcome. Join us as we dissect the motives, the investigation, and the harrowing events that forever changed the lives of those involved. Jennifer Pan's story is a haunting reminder that sometimes, the most shocking truths are hidden in plain sight. Welcome to Insight Wave, the channel dedicated to investigating both solved and unsolved cases from around the world. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest crime stories delivered directly to your inbox. Introducing the Pan family. Han, originally from Vietnam, relocated to Canada as a refugee in 1979. Similarly, his wife, Bích Ha Pan, also a Vietnamese native, became a Canadian resident as a refugee. The couple tied the knot in Toronto and established their home in Scarborough, Canada. In 1986, they welcomed their first daughter, Jennifer, followed by their second child, Felix, in 1989. Han pursued a career at Magnet International, an auto parts manufacturer in Aurora, working as a tool and die maker. Bích Ha contributed to the automotive industry by manufacturing car parts. As immigrants, the Pans diligently seized every opportunity to secure a prosperous future for their family. Their relentless work ethic and commitment to savings enabled them to realize their dream of owning a house. In 2004, they achieved this milestone in Markham, a residential area, marking the culmination of their aspirations. The family's success extended beyond homeownership, encompassing the luxury of driving a Lexus and a Mercedes. Thriving in their newfound neighborhood, the Pans were elated about the promising future they had carved out for themselves. Life was flourishing for the Pan family. Perhaps the most crucial aspect to understand about this family is their exceptionally strict parenting style, often referred to as tiger parenting, a characteristic approach associated with Asian parenting that entails high expectations, minimal leeway, and significant parental control. Growing up in a household with such demanding parents, who set exceedingly high standards, could be incredibly pressurizing. Both Jennifer and Felix were perceived as well-behaved children. Felix pursued mechanical engineering at a prestigious university, fulfilling his father Han's wish for him to work on cars and, specifically, design them. Jennifer, too, was seen as an impressive student involved in numerous extracurricular activities, such as playing the piano from a young age, participating in the school band, and pursuing figure skating with aspirations of becoming an Olympic athlete. However, a serious knee injury led her to abandon her figure skating dreams. Despite her parents' expectations for academic excellence, Jennifer struggled to maintain high grades, averaging in the C7-ish range. Her passion and success lay in music, an aspect of her life where she truly thrived. To meet her parents' expectations, she resorted to forging report cards, presenting an illusion of straight A's while being an average student. Attending Mary Ward Catholic School initially, Jennifer's behavioral and academic challenges prompted her to switch schools. Her parents, being extremely vigilant, monitored her every move diligently, ensuring she adhered to their strict rules. They were particularly apprehensive about Jennifer associating with boys, limiting her friendships and closely supervising her activities to prevent any distractions from her studies. While she navigated the challenges imposed by her strict upbringing, Jennifer faced severe restrictions on her social life. Forbidden from going on dates or attending school dances, she felt a profound sense of frustration and confinement. The inability to partake in what was deemed normal teenage experiences left her feeling restricted and envious of others leading seemingly ordinary lives with more lenient parents. Perhaps many of you can relate to the struggles of having exceedingly strict parents, understanding the suffocating atmosphere that accompanies such constraints. Jennifer, too, found herself increasingly trapped, like a prisoner within her own family. In addition to these pressures, she resorted to an elaborate facade, engaging in the arduous task of forging various aspects of her life to meet her parents' expectations. Despite her parents' best efforts to shield her from dating, Jennifer managed to connect with a boy named Daniel Wong during her 11th grade year. Described as goofy and socially adept, Daniel played the trumpet in the school band, a shared interest that sparked a connection between them. Their bond deepened during a school field trip to Europe in 2003, where Daniel's support during a challenging moment left a lasting impact on Jennifer. Facing a panic-inducing situation due to smoke in a concert hall triggering her asthma, Jennifer credited Daniel with calming her down and even saving her life. Moved by this experience, Jennifer developed strong feelings for Daniel, and the two began dating secretly during the following summer. Despite the challenges imposed by her parents, they managed to share moments of happiness together, concealed from the watchful eyes of her family. Jennifer initially secured early admission to Ryerson University, but a setback unfolded when she failed a calculus class during her senior year of high school, prompting the university to revoke her early admission. Determined to keep this information from her parents, she presented a facade to everyone in her life, assuring them that she was still set to attend Ryerson. In a surprising move, she went as far as crafting a fake acceptance letter, a ruse that her parents surprisingly fell for. Jennifer, it seemed, possessed a skill for deception honed over years. However, the truth was that she never graduated high school, unable to participate in the graduation ceremony. In an effort to maintain the illusion, she perpetuated a lie to her unsuspecting parents. Despite her father Han Pan's initial desire for her to pursue a medical career, he came to understand that forcing her into that path wasn't suitable, considering the adverse impact it had on her well-being. Thus, he redirected her toward pharmacology, a compromise that Jennifer reluctantly accepted. To continue adhering to her father's expectations, Jennifer informed her parents of her plan to attend Ryerson University for 2 years before transferring to the University of Toronto for its pharmacology program. To further support the facade, she convinced her parents that she secured all necessary funds through scholarships and grants, assuring them that they wouldn't need to contribute financially. Remarkably, her father remained unaware of the financial intricacies, as he wasn't involved in the bills. Seemingly legitimate to her parents, Jennifer engaged in a shadowy routine of purchasing textbooks, watching documentaries, and diligently taking notes, genuine notes meticulously prepared to showcase her dedication to academic preparation. Despite being in college, Jennifer lived a life devoid of typical teenage or college experiences, prohibited from attending parties or socializing with friends over drinks. Such ordinary aspects of youth remained elusive to her. Concurrently, she supplemented her income by teaching piano lessons and working in a restaurant. 2 years passed with her parents under the impression that she was attending Ryerson University. When her father inquired about her plans to complete her degree at the University of Toronto, Jennifer affirmed that she had been accepted and that it was the next step in her academic journey. Proposing the idea of moving out, Jennifer suggested living with a friend named Topaz, citing the convenience of being closer to the University of Toronto. Her parents agreed to this arrangement, unaware that during the week, she was actually staying at her friend Daniel's house, a detail she fabricated with a convincing story about her parents' approval. With her parents believing she had completed 4 years of university, Jennifer took another deceptive step. She sought help online to forge a fake transcript boasting impressive grades. To explain her absence from the graduation ceremony, Jennifer informed her parents that the University of Toronto limited tickets due to an unusually large class size, resulting in only one ticket per student. To spare her parents any disappointment, she claimed to have given her ticket to a friend. Continuing her web of deception, Jennifer informed her parents of her plans to volunteer at a blood testing lab named Sick Kids after her supposed time at the University of Toronto. To support her narrative, she claimed she would be working late-night shifts and weekends, persuading her parents that it made sense for her to spend most of her time at Topaz's house. Suspicions arose when her parents noticed the absence of a uniform or key card for Sick Kids. Determined to uncover the truth, they decided to take Jennifer to the hospital themselves. Nervous and anxious, Jennifer joined them in the car, and upon arriving at the hospital, she hastily entered, leaving her parents behind. In an attempt to evade them, she hid in the emergency room until she felt it was safe to leave, leaving her parents bewildered as they searched for her. Realizing their daughter's behavior was increasingly peculiar, Jennifer's parents grew concerned that they were being deceived. The next day, they reached out to Topaz, only to discover that Jennifer wasn't at her supposed residence. Alarmed by this revelation, they confronted Jennifer when she returned home, pressing her for answers. Eventually, she admitted to fabricating her employment at Sick Kids and disclosed that she hadn't attended the University of Toronto. To compound matters, she revealed that she had been living with Daniel instead of Topaz, further infuriating her parents. Despite this admission, she chose to maintain the illusion that she had graduated high school and attended Ryerson University before the supposed stint at the University of Toronto, keeping some truths hidden. Her parents, profoundly infuriated, unleashed a torrent of consequences upon Jennifer. Stripping her of her cell phone and laptop, they aimed to sever her ties with the outside world and demanded a complete cessation of communication with Daniel. They compelled her to resign from her job at the restaurant, allowing only piano teaching. Tightening their control, they even monitored her car mileage, ensuring she adhered to their stringent rules. Jennifer found herself in a state of utter misery, a sentiment she conveyed on Facebook in February 2009, likening her home to a place of house arrest. Despite restrictions limiting her outings to piano teaching, Jennifer attempted to visit Daniel whenever possible, employing classic tricks like arranging blankets and pillows in her bed to feign sleep while she slipped away. Her efforts, however, were uncovered by her vigilant mother the next morning, further intensifying her parents' anger and tightening their control. They insisted she sever all contact with Daniel, pressuring her to focus on applying for colleges and pursuing a career as a lab technician. Facing an ultimatum from her father, Jennifer had to choose between attending school or facing eviction. Heartbreakingly, her father categorically forbade any contact with Daniel, insisting that she wait until he passed away to see him. The emotional toll was immense for Jennifer, who deeply loved Daniel in the way only teenage emotions allow. Simultaneously, Daniel grew weary of the drama surrounding Jennifer, citing her excuses and the interference of her strict parents. Eventually, he decided to end the relationship, leaving Jennifer devastated. Feeling utterly out of control and manipulated by her parents, Jennifer's anguish deepened when she discovered Daniel had swiftly moved on to date someone named Christine, intensifying her frustration and sorrow. Growing increasingly jealous, Jennifer concocted a sinister plan to manipulate Daniel. She falsely claimed that 3 men had attacked her in her house and then insinuated that a bullet she received in the mail was a threat from Daniel's new girlfriend, Christine, trying to intimidate her. Jennifer's actions began to spiral into a dark and manipulative space. In the spring of 2010, Jennifer reconnected with an old friend named Andrew, who once confided in her about having considered killing his father. This revelation sparked an alarming idea in Jennifer's mind: life would be better without her strict parents. The notion of eliminating her father, who stood in the way of her relationship with Daniel and other desires, became appealing. Andrew introduced Jennifer to his friend Ricardo Duncan, and together, they formulated a plan for Duncan to kill Jennifer's father in the parking lot of his workplace. Jennifer handed over $1,500 from her piano lesson money as payment, but Duncan took the money and did nothing. Realizing she was being ripped off, Jennifer abandoned the plan, and Duncan claimed he refused to carry it out. Despite the setback, Jennifer and Daniel, who had rekindled their connection, devised a new, more elaborate scheme to eliminate both of Jennifer's parents. Their plan involved hiring hitmen to carry out the murders, aiming to claim the estate's substantial financial assets, estimated at around $500,000, for themselves. To facilitate their criminal communication, Daniel provided Jennifer with an iPhone for her burner phone, while she continued using a Samsung phone her parents had paid for in her everyday life. Daniel introduced Jennifer to his acquaintance Leonard Crawford, known as Homeboy, who normally charged $20,000 for such tasks but offered a friends and family discount of $10,000 for Jennifer. They set November 8 as the date for the planned murders, with Leonard mentioning that his friend David would also assist in the operation. On the evening of November 8, 2010, Jennifer Pan, a 25-year-old, was in her bedroom just after 9:30 p.m. Engaged in a phone conversation and preparing for bed, she had spent the afternoon practicing the piano and studying piano history for an upcoming test, showcasing her lifelong dedication to the instrument since the age of 4. Earlier that day, Jennifer's mother, 53-year-old Bitch Ha Pan, had visited her grandfather and attended to errands around Markham, Ontario, Canada, returning home around 3 p.m. Jennifer's father, 57-year-old Han, arrived home later than usual from his job at an automotive manufacturer in Scarborough, Ontario. Realizing he had forgotten to lock a toolbox halfway home, he turned back. Upon arriving home just after 4:30 p.m., Han called his brother to invite him for shopping, and they went to Home Depot together. While Bitch Ha prepared and shared dinner with Jennifer before heading to her line dancing class, Han had his dinner set aside for him, consumed it alone upon returning, and retreated to the study upstairs. Engaging with the latest Vietnamese news on his computer, Han followed his routine, preparing for an early bedtime as he had to rise at 5 a.m. for work. Around 9:30 p.m., Bitch Ha returned home, changed into her pajamas, and settled in the living room to watch TV. At 9:35 p.m., David called Jennifer, and after a brief conversation, the call ended. Jennifer then walked downstairs, greeted her mother watching TV, and secretly unlocked the front door. At 10:02 p.m., she toggled the study light on and off, serving as a signal for the planned intruders. At 10:05 p.m., David and Jennifer resumed their phone conversation, exchanging texts, including one where Jennifer mentioned VIP access, implying the intruders now had permission to enter her home. A third hitman, Eric Carley, joined Lenford, David, and Jennifer in executing their sinister plan. Together, they entered the Pan family's residence through the front door. One of the intruders went upstairs to fetch Han, bringing him down, while Eric went upstairs to locate Jennifer. According to Jennifer's account to the police, she was in her room, hearing unfamiliar footsteps. Jennifer stated that Eric instructed her to go around the house and collect any money she had. She handed over $2,500, earnings from piano lessons, and an additional $1,100 found in her mother's nightstand. Subsequently, they took Jennifer back upstairs and bound her to a banister. Her hands were tied behind her back using a shoelace, with her parents confused and pleading with the intruders not to harm their daughter. Moving Jennifer's parents downstairs, the intruders assured them that Jennifer would be unharmed. However, they proceeded to shoot both of her parents. In the midst of the horrifying ordeal, Jennifer managed to call 911. The distressing call captured the screams of Han, who had not succumbed to his injuries and had realized his wife was beside him. Crawling upstairs to the main floor, Han frantically screamed for help. A neighbor, witnessing the shocking scene as she was about to leave for work, called 911 as well.
What's your name?
My name is Jennifer.
Someone just broke in?
Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
Does it sound like gunshots?
I don't know what a gunshot sounds like. I just heard a pop. I'm okay. My dad just went outside screaming.
Do you think your mom is downstairs too?
I don't hear her anymore. Please hurry. I don't know what's happening.
Upon the arrival of the police and ambulance, Han was rushed to the hospital, where he was placed in an induced coma. The chaotic situation left everyone, except Jennifer, in the dark about the events unfolding inside the Pan family home. On the night of the incident, the York Regional Police conducted an interview with Jennifer. In her account, she claimed that two individuals entered the house, proceeded to take money from her, tied her to the banister, and then took her parents downstairs, where they were ultimately shot. This narrative provided the initial details of the harrowing events as described by Jennifer.
When you hear your mom come, do you hear your mom in the house?
She was in the house. I had gone down the stairs.
Did you hear, so before this is when did you hear your mom for the first time in the house?
When she came home.
So did you physically see your mom?
Yeah.
And at that time there was no one strange in the house?
No, she was on the downstairs sofa. She was watching TV when I last saw her.
Between that time that you see her and you leave her on the sofa until you hear the noises, the strange, the voices as you describe them, how long is that?
Maybe a half hour.
A half an hour? Where is it your mom was before here?
She goes dancing every Monday. She goes dancing with a few relatives as well.
What is the first, when you hear this, can you hear them talking downstairs, the unknown voices?
It's all a mumble.
It's a mumble?
Because I had the TV on, it was just all a mumble.
When's the first time that you actually can hear one of them talking?
When he was upstairs, and I thought he had left the upstairs, because I was frozen in my room for a while.
Yep.
Trying to listen in, but I couldn't hear over my TV, and I didn't want to startle them by turning it off or like diminishing the volume. So I was kind of pressed up against my door for a while trying to hear it. And I thought that all the people upstairs had gone down, so I opened up my door quietly and tried to peer out, and he saw me, and that's when he came. The only thing I can remember was he had dreadlocks.
Did you see the gun?
I only saw the top part of the gun.
What did it look like?
Kind of, it was black.
Yeah.
And it kind of, not triangular, but it was slightly wider at the end. They sit me right at the bottom of the stairs, like slightly out, not exactly directly at the bottom of the stairwell, but just slightly over a little. The third guy, who I didn't encounter, but he was there, he was like, "Where's your money? Cooperate with us." And then my mom's like, yelling, and "Don't hurt us," and my money's in my wallet, just please leave my paperwork.
This person, this third guy who you're now describing, do you see him ever? Only as a shadow?
Because there's a wall, partial wall, and he was like right in that vision, over my father, but partially in that vision. And the next thing I can hear are them telling my parents to move to the basement.
Okay.
And I'm asking them, why, where are you going? And my mom's yelling to me, "I want my daughter. Why can't my daughter come too? I want my daughter."
Who goes down to the basement? Can you see that from where you're sitting?
My back is towards the wall.
Do you hear anyone else on the main level where your parents were? Like, you can hear, if people are trucking down the stairs, you hear your parents going down the stairs. Do you hear like 5 sets of footsteps going down there, or can't you hear that?
I was just such a distress. I don't exactly know how many people went down.
The investigators brought Jennifer back for further questioning, as they found it puzzling how she, allegedly tied up during the incident, could easily make a 911 call. This raised suspicions and prompted a closer examination of Jennifer's account of the events.
Let's come back to now. You're being taken to the banister in the
I'm
upper.
sorry, I don't
Don't
remember.
apologize, okay? I'm going to try and ask you questions to try and clarify points, okay? If you don't remember, you don't remember. Okay, so there's no apologizing. The only reason you would apologize to me is if you've lied to me.
No.
Okay,
No, it's
so
I just
then in this case, then don't apologize to me. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to ask you questions to clarify points. You're now bound to the railing. Can you show me, can you stand up and turn around and tell me, just show on the camera, how your hands are bound? And how you are against the railing. You don't have to sit down, I just need to see how you were.
Just tell you.
The only reason that I'm trying to, I need to do this, is that I'm also going to ask you, is that so take this back to, take it out of a traumatizing event, which it is, and put yourself into a more clinical position, because I want to see how you could physically get your phone out of your waistband. We're obviously going to need to know that. It's very important. So traumatize away, now put yourself into just a state of, I need to mechanically show how I can get access to my phone. Okay, because that's obviously very relevant. We know you made the phone call, but questions are going to obviously raise is that if my hands are bound and I'm against the railing, how do I talk to a 911 operator? Okay, so clinically, this is now a clinical demonstration. Just stand up, focus in on how you did it. And I want you to stick that in your waistband as an example. Okay, so just take your sweat off, because this will be a very smooth, very quick thing. It's a one-time demonstration. I'm not going to ask you to repeat it. Stand up and turn around. Put this in the side that you believe it was in. Great. Turn around so that you're looking away from me. You're looking exactly like, now here is where the banister is. Put your hands back behind your back, exactly how you remember they were, okay? Now, are you restrained from movement? How far can you move your hands from the banister?
I tied my upper arm.
Yes?
Around the banister.
Yes?
But my hands were bound together.
So your hands bound together, and this is the arm that's the strings wrapped around against the banister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now how can you get to the phone, and how do you make the phone call? 911?
Mm-hmm.
And do you talk down like that?
Yes, I'm yelling at the phone like this.
And how can you hear?
I turned the volume on max.
Yes? So that's exactly the way that you're talking to her against the railing.
The funeral, held on November 15, 2010, at the Ogden Chapel in Scarborough, became a point of interest for investigators. During the service, police discreetly observed Jennifer's behavior, seeking signs of emotional distress given the traumatic events she claimed to have experienced, a home invasion, being tied up, and witnessing her parents' shooting. Contrary to expectations, Jennifer displayed no apparent emotion during the funeral. While people cope with grief differently, this lack of visible distress began to raise suspicions among those around her, including the police. In response to the growing skepticism, law enforcement initiated surveillance on Jennifer, covertly monitoring her activities. An aspect that puzzled the investigators early on was the nature of the supposed burglary. Despite the intruders allegedly seeking money, the keys to the family's Lexus were found conspicuously on the counter. The absence of stolen electronics, jewelry, or any signs of forced entry also raised doubts. Moreover, it was discovered that money was still hidden in the house. The police found it odd that the intruders seemingly knew the front door would be unlocked, as evidenced by their lack of any tools like a crowbar. A lingering question was why Jennifer, who would have been considered a witness, was left completely unharmed if the intruders' intent was to eliminate all witnesses. These inconsistencies fueled the growing suspicion that there might be more to the story than initially presented. On November 12, 3 days after the tragic events, Han awoke from his coma in a severely battered condition, with a broken bone near his face, facial bruising, and lodged bullet fragments. Despite his injuries, he remarkably retained vivid memories of the night. According to Han, he recalled Jennifer conversing with one of the intruders as if they were friends, a stark contrast to Jennifer's initial account. He contradicted her claim that she was tied to the banister, stating that she was walking freely around the house. Given this stark disparity between Jennifer's narrative and Han's recollection, the police opted for a third interview. The intense interrogation spanned 9 hours, during which investigators applied pressure to elicit the truth. Eventually, Jennifer admitted to deceiving them, acknowledging her depression and desire for someone to end her life. However, the hired individuals mistakenly targeted her parents instead.
happened, yes. The guys came in, okay, but you were involved. That's what the difference is here, okay? Right? A lot of what you said happened, but a lot of it that you said didn't happen, okay? Okay, but it's what you're not saying that's important here. You were part of setting this plan in motion, right? You were behind this, right? You have to get it off your chest, Jen. It's killing you. Get it off your chest, and we're going to talk it out here. We're going to understand, and we're going to get this pressure off you, because that's what you need right now. Do the right thing now, Jen. We already know. You're not going to surprise me here. Okay, I already know what the answer is. And I can't stand to see you go through this any longer. You've been a physical wreck because you know that you haven't been truthful with us. A lot of things that you said are true, but there's so many more that aren't, and you're leaving so much information out. We know that. You have to sit there and ask yourself, yes, he knows. Bill knows. Everyone knows. But what you have to do now is get the strength in you to tell us why it happened. But I can tell you one thing is that we already know, so you can't change that. I know you did. But it got too far ahead of you, right? You didn't think this far ahead, did you? But once they started, once they came in, you couldn't stop it, could you? Could you? Jen? I know. Why didn't they stop for you?
I don't know who they were.
But you were part of the planning, right? You have to tell me that part, and then we're going to work through it together. Do you know what I'm saying? You didn't want this. You wanted to stop it. You have to prove that to me now. Because at the end of the day, we have to stop this from happening to someone else. Right?
What happened to me?
Jen, we're going to have to deal with it one step at a time, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. I need to know what you did. And then you and I are going to work through this together. Because the most important part of this whole thing is that we do the right thing for your mom. Right? I am her voice right now. I'm working for your mom. That's my job. But we got to start.
But what happened to me?
Well, I don't know at this point. Okay? Because I don't know what you're going to tell me other than that you were involved. But I need to hear it. What this all was a last-ditch effort to live your own life, to be your own person, to make your own decisions. Look at all your friends. Look at all the people around you. Does anyone else have a curfew for 9 o'clock at 24 years of age? You had no choice here, Jen. I know that. And anybody else in your situation would have done the exact same thing. The only thing different is I would say that they'd have done it a lot earlier. They would have looked for a way out. When did you first start planning this? When was the final straw? What was the final straw? So that's what this is all about. You want to be a good person here? Sorry, didn't you? They were supposed to take you? What? So you were supposed to take the whole family out?
No, just me.
What went wrong? What happened? Why did it change?
I don't know.
Okay, what do you know? How come it was supposed to be you?
I know it doesn't make sense to me. Because I was supposed to be.
Okay. Can you sit up for a minute, Jen? Okay. What I do believe is that you went to somebody. And I do believe that night you paid them the $2,000. But what's not true is it was never for you. Okay, Jen, no. Okay, you went to this person and you asked them to do a job. And the job was for your parents. You asked them to do this job on your parents, Jen. Okay, let's be truthful. Okay, nobody's going to come there and get the wrong people. You made a specific request, and the job was for your mom and dad. Okay, nobody's going to come in there and do the wrong job. Okay, nobody's going to do that. Plan is for your parents.
Me.
Okay, Jen, you have to be honest with it. This is the only thing that's in contention here. Okay, you made the mistake. Okay, everybody understands. Everybody in this police department feels sorry for you. I can tell you that right now, okay? Because they've seen what you're going through. It's so obvious, okay? That all this tension they put out, basically this is like a volcano, all right? And at one point it was just too much and you erupted, okay? And you made a bad decision, okay? And once you hired this guy, there was no turning back. Now in the original story, you said that you hid your cell phone. Okay? If it was for you, you wouldn't have hid your cell phone. That would have never happened. So it's in conflict.
It's not hidden. It's just, I put it there naturally.
Okay.
It's what I naturally do.
Okay, but you said on tape that you hid it there and that they didn't know about it. That's your language, not mine, Jeff. All they wanted was so much success out of you, they were not even looking at you as a person. They were looking for a success story. Instead of just saying, whatever Jen wants is what's good for us. Whatever she's happy with. As long as she's happy in her life, I'm happy with it. If she wants to work at Eastside Mario's for the rest of her life, that's fine. If she wants to be a piano teacher, that's great. If she wants to continue figure skating, that's wonderful. Why would somebody shoot someone they didn't have to shoot?
I don't know. I can't figure that out.
And actually not shoot the person they're supposed to shoot?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, why didn't you tell us this that night?
Because I was scared.
Scared of what? Telling the truth?
Yes.
The good thing about this is your dad did live. And that went against the plan. If you could make this decision over, you would change it. Okay? You would change it. Right?
Of course. If I knew who was going to get hurt, of course I would.
Jen, you knew who was going to get hurt. That's the whole issue here. Okay, that's the whole issue here. You gave them the plan for your parents, right? That's all I need to hear.
No.
Jen, tell me what happened.
I told you what happened.
All of it.
You did.
Okay. All you have to do is tell me right now. Bill, yes, I made a mistake.
Really, yes, I didn't.
This plan was for my parents. Okay. I need you to listen close to me, okay, Jen? At this point in the investigation, okay, I'm going to be arresting you for murder. Okay? Also attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Do you understand that? Just have to tell me if you understand those charges. Just say yes or no. Yes.
Prompted by this revelation, Jennifer was arrested on the spot. Subsequently, the police, combing through phone records and text messages, identified the assailants. Although Jennifer had disposed of her SIM card, incriminating messages remained on her iPhone. All perpetrators were apprehended, leading to a trial that commenced on March 19, 2014, lasting nearly 10 months. Over 50 witnesses testified, with Jennifer spending 7 days on the stand. Facing overwhelming evidence of her involvement, Jennifer's defense strategy centered on claiming she attempted to cancel the attack but was allegedly coerced into proceeding. This argument, however, crumbled under scrutiny due to the abundance of messages detailing the planned assault. Another defense angle asserted Jennifer's history of enduring strict parenting as a justification for her actions, emphasizing a breaking point. Nevertheless, the court found this argument weak, especially in light of the numerous messages detailing the orchestration of the crime. The trial underscored Jennifer's role in orchestrating the attack on her parents, and she faced legal consequences for her actions. On December 13, 2014, Jennifer, Daniel, David, and Linford were all convicted, receiving life sentences with no chance of parole for 25 years. This implies the possibility of lifelong incarceration, depending on future parole proceedings. Eric, the remaining accomplice, faced a delay in his trial due to his lawyer's illness. In 2015, he opted for a plea deal, resulting in an 18-year sentence. Jennifer's father and brother, Felix, sought and obtained a court-ordered protection preventing Jennifer from any contact with them. This legal restriction also extended to Daniel. The impact on Jennifer's father has been profound. Unable to work due to injuries, he battles depression, nightmares, and insomnia. Witnesses attest to his severely compromised mental health, depicting a shattered existence since the revelation that his daughter orchestrated an attempt on his life. Expressing hope for Jennifer's redemption, her father issued a statement, highlighting the deep emotional wounds caused by her betrayal. Meanwhile, Felix chose to distance himself, relocating to the East Coast in pursuit of a new life. Jennifer faces a minimum of 25 years in prison before being eligible for parole, yet the likelihood of parole remains uncertain. Held in different correctional facilities, the tragic saga took an even darker turn with Eric taking his own life in 2018. The survival of Jennifer's father became a pivotal factor in unraveling the complexities of her fabricated narrative. While it remains possible that her deception could have been exposed even if her father did not survive, his account provided undeniable evidence that exposed the inconsistencies in Jennifer's story, leading to the shocking truth about her elaborate scheme.